1 week after the massacre in Las Vegas, we still do not know why the gunman did it. But we are learning that a note found in his hotel room included handwritten calculations about where he needed to aim to maximize his accuracy and kill as many people as possible. That information and more is revealed on 60 Minutes tonight in an interview with some of the officers who stormed Stephen Paddock's hotel room. Nearly 60 people were killed and more than 500 injured in the attack on a country music concert. The shooting has ignited a new debate over one of the most contentious issues in America, gun control. There appears to be rare agreement over banning the piece of equipment that Paddock used to make his semi-automatic gun fire like a fully automatic. Among those introducing legislation to ban so-called bump stocks is Minnesota Congressman Tim Walz, who in the past has received donations and A ratings from the National Rifle Association. And Congressman Walz, who of course is a DFL candidate for governor, joins us now. Thank you so much, sir, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let me ask you about your past NRA support and your positions right now. Yeah. Is this for political gain here to get an edge in the governor's race?
Well, the politics is secondary. I've got friends who have been have had gun violence in their families, and like so many responsible gun owners, it's what I grew up on. We're all looking forward to pheasant opener coming up, family, friends, dogs out in the crisp morning, but all of us, the horrificness of this can't go on. We can't wake up in the mornings like this, and I refuse to believe that there aren't solutions. I know they're not easy, but not trying it, and I know the NRA is not helpful in this. The NRA, when I was growing up, is quite a different organization than they are now, so I've donated that money to the intrepid fallen heroes, but I think I bring a voice on this where sportsmen and gun owners know that I've been strong on the Second Amendment, but I've also voted to put funding into the CDC for research and background checks.
But year after year, though, you have embraced the NRA donations. Yes, you just returned the ones in the aftermath of this shooting. A lot of people look at that and say, this is being politically opportunistic. What do you say to those critics about a switch you've made on this issue?
Yeah, well, I would say that Sandy Hook's come since then. I would say Las Vegas has come. I would say that I have a responsibility to, again, try and find something that goes there. I certainly know that I voted against the NRA when needed to be. I do agree with your constitutional right to keep and bear arms, and I suppose folks will see things as political expediency, but I think what's always set me apart is I have an ability to build coalitions that maybe are a little bit counterintuitive. So to get this right, we're going to have to bridge this cultural gap that separates people who do look at firearms as an opportunity to be out with their family on a morning, getting roosters to flush, and those that don't understand that those people hurt the same way. So I think I can bridge that gap, and I'm certainly glad to give that money back and not accept it. And that's an organization that I lost their way, and I've not been a member of it, but I'm a member of Pheasants Forever, so I don't shy away from my sportsman's heritage.
All right. In terms of building coalitions, you've actually already, 13 months out, named your running mate, Representative Peggy Flanagan, who has certainly progressive chops. Critics again say, is this an effort to appeal to the progressives in the DFL party, because you are actually a lot more conservative than she is on some positions?
Well, I think we have a lot of shared values. It's about, again, building coalitions to solve Minnesota's problems. Traveling across Minnesota, they're sick of our divided politics. They're sick about this idea that there's a spectrum that people need to fall on. I've respected Peggy for her work in early childhood. She's actually a friend of mine prior to me being in politics. And what I would say to them is that we're not going to do things the same way. We're not going to wait to the 7th ballot of a DFL convention to pick someone that might put you over the edge or whatever. I'm going to get out there with a partner who I know has different life experiences, someone who's of the White Earth Nation and a Ojibwe woman, and someone who didn't grow up on a farm the way I did, but can bring that perspective from an urban perspective to a rural perspective and unite the state.
You talked about effective governing. If you had been in Governor Mark Dayton's shoes, would you have vetoed the funding for the Minnesota legislature?
Well, as being a member of this Congress, it's always hard to critique where folks are at. I think the governor was put in a tough situation. What I would say is that I don't want to get in a situation where I have to sue the legislature. I don't want to get in that situation.
But would you have done it?
And I think
you vetoed the funding.
It's hard for me to say when I'm not there as it led up to it. I think the problem led into the lack of transparency and how it got there. I would tell you that I would do everything within my power to avoid vetoing that.
And let me ask you about health care. President Trump has tweeted that he would like to work with Democrats on a fix for Obamacare. Your district, the 1st Congressional District, so many people in the individual market have just been nailed by these
That's
sky-high
right.
premiums.
Many different reasons.
Are you open to the president's
Absolutely.
tweet?
I've said it since I've been there. I see it as a journey, not a destination. While I'm proud that the ACA has done much good, the individual market, I've always said, is not working in certain areas, and there are numerous reasons for that. Rural areas, large healthcare institutions in the middle of these things, different things. But if the president's offering this is exactly what Minnesotans are asking for. I am open to whatever they bring forward to try and stabilize the market, because I believe that this is an absolute necessity for folks to have affordable, quality, accessible health care. So I welcome this. I think it's a good sign.
Some analysts wonder if you are too conservative to actually win the nomination, your party's nomination. If you do not get the nomination at the DFL convention, will you abide by whoever does get the nomination, or will you go to the primary?
Yeah, those are probably not Republicans that think I'm too conservative on that. What I've said is it's important, I think, for this state to have a pragmatic, progressive governor. And so the November election is what I'm focusing on. I fully expect to be endorsed, but I think it's irresponsible not to be prepared to run a primary. I don't think this field is set. I think there'll be folks that'll get in after this.
So if you don't get it, you go to the primary.
I think there's a possibility that we would do that. I think I'm the best able to win this race. I think I'm also best able to bring the state to govern. So we are preparing for that eventuality. I think the interesting thing here will be is we're kind of going counter to what all the predictions are. I think there's a reason that I'm taking a little incoming fire from folks is because we are uniting the state. People are finding that I am a different voice. I look a little bit different, and I fully expect to be endorsed. So we'll cross that bridge when it comes.
All right. Well, Congressman Tim Walz, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Grateful.
All right.